Now, Hillary Clinton formally kicks off her 2016 campaign tomorrow with a major speech in New York City. The New York Times reports she will evoke Franklin Roosevelt, speaking from an island named for the 32nd president and liberal icon. But Clinton's speech could end up disappointing the Democrats' progressive base. The Washington Post reports it will focus on personal stories and shy away from policy specifics. Meanwhile, Bill Clinton said yesterday he is unsure if donors to his foundation sought favors from Hillary Clinton's State Department.
Okay, so that's kind of, we're all sort of laughing, chuckling here, because all you have to do is see what George Stephanopoulos said. That everybody that wrote a check, what show did he say that on?
George Stephanopoulos.
Including George Stephanopoulos wanted to get something out of it.
But there was
we told Jon Stewart on the Daily Show.
Always the hope for something.
Always hope. Let's have that for the top of 7. But yeah, Sam Stein, that's...
Well, it just strikes me as fairly lawyerly to say something like, I'm not sure, so that it doesn't come back and bite you in the you-know-what.
So the former president is confident that whatever their motives were, he says, he and his wife were unaware.
Because, they are blissfully unaware of absolutely everything, and they don't keep lists. Oh, wait. They do.
Can you really say that these companies, these wealthy individuals, these governments, none of them sought anything? I mean, some of them did have business before the State Department.
I don't know. You never know what people's motives are, but in this case, I'm pretty sure everybody that gave to Haiti in the aftermath of the earthquake saw what they saw on television, were horrified, and wanted to make a difference. And
you're not saying, you say you don't know if anybody sought any favor, just that there was no...
No, and I don't think Hillary would know either. She was pretty busy those years. And I never saw her study a list of my contributors, and I had no idea who was doing business before the State Department.
Say it on the air.
No.
Say it on the air.
No.
Say it on the air. You know what? I always say stuff on the air. That's kind of what makes this show. This show is you say things, you jump off the cliff.
I'm just curious. You're so interested in Marco Rubio's driveway. Okay.
As opposed to this?
They're not mutually exclusive.
No.
There are absolutely legitimate questions about how Marco Rubio handled his finances, because if you look at his history, this is a guy who has kind of always operated within an inch or two of the rules.
Okay, we'll go to that.
We'll look at that.
And
his finances, though, I think raise a larger question about his judgment and his good sense, and whether or not he's somebody who can kind of manage in the way that he claims to be.
Mika's bigger point, and we'll talk about Marco, all people want to talk about. The bigger point, Mika, is with Bill Clinton going out there. Well, good. You need to explain on the air what you said off the air.
I want to know what Hillary Clinton needs to do Saturday to try and put this behind her, because what just screams out to me, but of course we're in the industry of analyzing, of covering this. I got it. Of looking for the questions and asking them. And the questions scream out at me. What in the world happened with the foundation and these ulterior motives and this money and the email server? I'm sorry. Those scream out at me. So when I look forward to Saturday, I want to hear it, but I don't understand how Bill Clinton can get on stage and say maybe some people had ulterior motives, and we're just going to be like, okay, let's cover Marco Rubio's driveway.
Sure.
We're not.
Well, and also not happening in isolation.
Also, for Bill Clinton to say Hillary was busy, she doesn't keep lists, when you could read 1,000 stories about Hillary. Hillary didn't know what was going on. The Clintons keep lists. There have been one story after another story about somebody who slighted them 14 years ago that are still on a list.
I think the problem here, even for the biggest Clinton defenders, is that it goes back to the emails, which is, even if they're totally innocent, the fact that they erased their server doesn't allow you to provide that innocence. And so it seems pretty obvious to me that the strategy here is to have Bill Clinton just deal with the messy stuff. Just put him out there. You talk about the foundation. Hillary won't take those questions as much as she can't. And then we'll do this.
So is it better?
I just don't know if
better for him to fumble over it
than to have her answer.
Than to have her fumble over it.
If you're under the belief that there's no good way to handle these questions, that you're going to fumble, regardless of who is doing the answering, then let him do it.
Is he a trial balloon, a giant trial balloon? We'll go out and have the guy who's better at this than anybody else doing it, and we'll see what sticks and what doesn't stick. And what Mika's going to get angry about what Mika's not. No, I'm not.
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
Is he really the best at it anymore? I mean, we've seen him flub a few significant
questions. But this is such a horrible there's no good answer. That's why Hillary has been on lockdown and in bubble wrap for the past 3 months.
But wouldn't you say if there's no good answer, or if the good answer has been, scrubbed, and it would have been fine to show all those emails, and it's unfortunate for them. I don't know. I don't know. Wouldn't you say get it over with? Get out there, answer the questions, let them come, get bruised up.
But I think that's what they're doing now,
really?
As much as they can with just Bill Clinton answering the question.
I think we've talked through this and kind of figured out there is no good answer. They're putting Bill Clinton out because he's better at it than anybody else. And it's even tough for Bill Clinton to talk through it. I guess my
question is for our viewers. Like, why is it okay that while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, there were all these trades going on and ulterior motives, and even TV news personalities, giving money? I
think it's a real problem for the Clinton campaign.
Maybe not.
That she is unable. I'm just saying in the long run that she's unable to do what Bush does, which is stand in front of microphones, answer 200 questions. And if she stands up there, Hillary Clinton, she's not as good at this as her husband, says most people. She's there in front of a microphone, and the first person says, your husband got $550,000 for making a 45-minute speech in front of X at the same time that they were in the State Department and you were doing Y. Is that proper? And then she fumbles through that. And then somebody asks the next question. I don't know that there's ever going to be a good time for her to stand in front of microphones and answer those questions.
And my questions are, and I'll speak personally, I grew up in a family where I saw how a lot of this works from the inside. I'm still in one where I know how ethics and rules and protocol must be followed, like to the T, down to $50 gifts. And so I think I'm kind of flummoxed by it. At the same time, I want to see the first woman president of the United States in my lifetime. I would like to see a Democrat win the next election. I'm going to be transparent.
Well,
I would like to see her be able to answer these questions and for there to be a good answer. But I'm not going to pretend the questions don't exist.
Yeah, but that's the central paradox of her candidacy, right? There's this historic nature of it, and there was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are elements of her character and her policy positions. Let's not just make it about the foundation that are, deeply not irritating, but troubling.
And I've seen it from the inside, so I feel like there's a real conflict.
The thing is, you talked about your past growing up with your father in the White House. We don't have to go back to the 70s. We can look at the fact that you can't give your sister-in-law shoes.
I can't give her shoes. I would never.
Because they say that's improper.
That's right.
And so if a relative can't give a sister-in-law shoes that don't fit her because her brother works in the State Department, why can the Secretary of State at the same time have a husband who can make $550,000 in a speech that may look like there's an impropriety
in foreign policy
attached to foreign policy decisions made inside the State Department? That and many more questions will be answered straight ahead on
Probably not answered.
No, it won't be answered
and maybe
for
it doesn't
years.
matter. That's my question for everyone. I'm still kind of